Welcome back, coin lovers. Today, we're diving into the world of dimes, from silver Mercury dimes to rare Roosevelt errors. These coins might be small, but some of them are worth hundreds or more. Let's explore which US dimes are truly worth collecting. First up, the 2021 Roosevelt dime with an error and deep cuts on both sides presents a unique and interesting piece for collectors, especially those who focus on error coins. Minted at the Denver Mint, the 2021 dime is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series that began in 1946. These dimes feature the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and the torch flanked by an olive branch and oak branch on the reverse. Symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes in 2021, which makes the regular version of this coin very common and generally worth only face value. However, what sets your coin apart is the description of a possible error, a deep cut appearing on both sides. This feature suggests it might be more than just post-mint damage, depending on how it occurred. When evaluating a coin like this, the first step is to determine whether the deep cuts are the result of a minting error or damage sustained after the coin left the mint. True mint errors occur during the manufacturing process and are highly sought after if they are rare or dramatic. These can include things like die breaks or die gouges. When the die used to strike the coin has a crack or gouge, it can leave raised areas or deep marks on the coin. Strike-through errors. When a foreign object like grease, cloth, or metal shavings gets between the die and the planchet during striking, it can leave deep impressions or unusual marks. Double strikes or misaligned dies can result in distorted images or cuts appearing where the metal was struck twice in error. However, if the deep cuts on both sides of your 2021 D dime are sharp, erratic, or inconsistent with known mint errors, they are more likely to be post-mint damage, meaning they happened after the coin was released into circulation. This could be caused by machinery, tools, or even intentional tampering. Post-mint damage does not add collectible value and, in most cases, lowers a coin's desirability. To determine whether your dime is a legitimate mint error, a visual inspection by a numismatic expert or third-party grading service such as PCGS or NGC is recommended. They can confirm whether the deep cuts are the result of an error during minting or damage that occurred later. In circulated condition with damage, a 2021 D dime is still worth only 10 cents unless authenticated as a true mint error. If confirmed, however, some minor error coins can sell for a few dollars, while more dramatic and rare errors, such as a major die break or dramatic off-center strike, can be worth significantly more to specialized collectors. Because your coin is so recent and the description includes deep cut on both sides, the odds are higher that this is post-mint damage unless the marks follow the patterns seen in known minting defects. The appearance of identical or symmetrical cuts might suggest something that happened during the rolling or striking phase. But if the marks are uneven or irregular, they may be from wear, accidents, or external tools. Regardless of its monetary value, this coin is still an interesting find and can serve as an educational tool for those learning to distinguish between error coins and damaged coins. Including this kind of coin in a collection that showcases unusual or unique circulation finds adds an element of discovery and conversation. Even if it doesn't command a high price, it represents the excitement of searching and the curiosity that keeps coin collecting engaging. In conclusion, your 2021 D Roosevelt dime with deep cuts on both sides may be an error coin or it may be post-mint damage. While normal 2021 dimes are extremely common and hold no extra value, error coins are exceptions to the rule and can occasionally bring surprising attention. A professional evaluation is the best way to determine its true nature and value. In any case, it's a piece worth holding onto and learning from as part of a growing and thoughtful coin collection. Next up we have the 2000 D Error 1 dime coin with deep cuts on both sides stands out as a striking example of how minting anomalies can transform the ordinary coin into a potentially high-value collector's piece. While the Denver Mint produced millions of dimes in the year 2000 as part of the Roosevelt dime series, very few coins emerge with such dramatic errors that they capture the attention of collectors and numismatists around the world. A coin from this common year, if verified to carry a genuine minting error, especially with such an intense and rare characteristic as deep cuts on both sides, can find itself in an entirely different league of value and desirability. Roosevelt dimes have been in circulation since 1946 and were designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Over the decades, these coins have maintained a relatively simple design. The obverse features the profile of Roosevelt, while the reverse displays a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. This basic design remained consistent through 2000, which means that most dimes from that year carry minimal numismatic value beyond face, unless there is something unusual about them. That is where your coin becomes particularly noteworthy. Error coins are anomalies that occur during the minting process and can include a variety of issues, such as off-center strikes, double strikes, clipped plankets, die cracks, and strike-throughs. These are caused by misalignment, broken dies, foreign material, or mechanical issues during production. The result is a coin that significantly deviates from the intended design and appearance. When a coin like your 2000 D dime features deep cuts on both the obverse and reverse, it suggests something far beyond simple wear or post-mint damage. If these deep cuts are indeed the result of a minting error such as a die gouge or strike through, the rarity can elevate its value to astonishing heights. Coins with dramatic and obvious errors often command significant interest from collectors, particularly when the error is clearly visible without magnification. Deep cuts that span both sides of a coin are especially uncommon, and if symmetrical or in a pattern consistent with known minting issues, can indicate a very rare and possibly unique error. These features make such a coin highly desirable in auctions and private sales. It is not unheard of for such coins to command values ranging from hundreds of thousands to several $1 million, depending on the specifics of the error, its uniqueness, and the condition of the coin. What drives the value of a coin like this is not just the error itself, but also its presentation, historical context, and market demand. A clean, well-preserved coin, even with an error, can be more valuable than one that is heavily worn or corroded. Your coin's description as having a red shade adds further appeal, particularly for collectors who value eye-catching coloration caused by toning, environmental exposure, or planchet anomalies. When combined with an error of such a scale as deep cuts on both sides, it creates a near-perfect storm of collector interest. There have been instances in the past where seemingly minor errors became viral sensations within the collector community, leading to record-breaking sales. This often happens when an error is certified by a reputable grading service and its uniqueness is well documented. Collectors are not just buying the metal or the year, they're buying the story, the rarity, and the visual appeal. If your 2000 D dime error coin has those qualities, and especially it has been verified and graded professionally, it could easily fall into the high-end market where prices range from $800,000 to over $9 million. To ensure you get the most accurate evaluation and potentially unlock its full market value, having the coin authenticated and graded by a top-tier grading company such as PCGS or NGC is highly recommended. These organizations specialize in verifying error coins and can provide a certified label that confirms the error and condition. This not only increases buyer confidence, but also legitimizes the coin's value when it appears in auctions or high-profile sales. In conclusion, the 2000 D error 1 dime coin with deep cuts on both sides is not just an ordinary piece of pocket change. It could be a true treasure hiding in plain sight. Its dramatic error, its visual distinctiveness, and the potential story behind its creation make it an object of high intrigue among collectors. If authenticated and confirmed as a mint error, its value could easily soar well beyond hundreds of thousands and even into the multi-million-dollar range. In the dynamic and passionate world of coin collecting, such a coin represents the excitement that drives the hobby and the possibility that every coin in your possession could hold more than just monetary worth. It could hold a story, a mystery, and a legacy. Next up we have the 1970 D1 dime coin with signs of rust is an interesting piece from a transitional period in United States coinage. Minted in Denver, this Roosevelt dime is made of a clad composition consisting of an outer layer of copper-nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. These materials are highly resistant to rust under normal conditions, so the presence of rust or corrosion on your coin likely indicates long-term environmental exposure, such as being buried, submerged, or stored in high-moisture areas. The Roosevelt dime series, introduced in 1946, honors President Franklin D. Roosevelt and features his portrait on the obverse. The reverse shows a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. By 1970, the mint had fully transitioned from silver to copper nickel-clad dimes, so your coin contains no silver content, which typically makes it less valuable in terms of metal alone. However, coins from 1970 can still be of interest to collectors under certain circumstances. While a typical circulated 1970 D dime holds minimal value over face-error coins, high-grade examples or those with historical significance can be exceptions. In your case, the presence of rust may reduce its appeal to some collectors due to condition issues. Rust can obscure details and reduce the sharpness of the design, which are important factors in coin grading and valuation. That said, coins with significant corrosion are sometimes cleaned in attempts to improve appearance, though this is generally discouraged. Improper cleaning can further damage the coin and lower its collectible value. If the coin has sentimental value, or you're unsure whether it has collectible merit despite the rust, it's best to consult a coin expert or local dealer before taking any cleaning measures. In summary, a 1970 D Roosevelt dime in rusty condition is usually considered a circulated coin of low market value. However, every coin has a story, and yours may still be worth showing to a professional if you're curious about potential errors or anomalies that might not be immediately visible. Next up we have the 2001 D1 dime coin minted in Denver has recently caught the attention of collectors and enthusiasts due to its unique appearance and the potential for rare error characteristics. This coin features the traditional Roosevelt design that has been a part of American currency since 1946. On the front side of the coin is the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt with inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust. On the reverse is the torch flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. However, this particular 2001 D dime stands out due to an unusual black shade on the backside, which has intrigued many within the numismatic community. A coin like this is not just a piece of metal, it is part of American history. Each coin produced by the U.S. Mint carries the weight of both tradition and precision. When a coin shows unique physical traits, such as color toning, deep shading, or surface discoloration, it can become an object of fascination and deeper study. In this case, the black shading on the backside of the 2001 D dime could be the result of several factors, including environmental exposure, chemical reaction, or even a rare minting anomaly. While discoloration from exposure is common, the right combination of color placement and rarity can elevate the value of a coin far beyond its face value. This 2001 D dime might at first glance seem like an ordinary coin, but upon closer inspection, collectors may find subtle features that enhance its desirability. In rare cases, when coins leave the mint with improper alloy mixing or unusual oxidation patterns, they can develop unusual coloring that is natural and not artificial. If the black shade on this coin is determined to have originated during the minting process and not after, then it becomes especially noteworthy. Authentic mint errors are often pursued by collectors due to their uniqueness and limited existence. Over time, the interest in modern era coins with anomalies has grown. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for dimes with off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, and unusual toning or coloration. The year 2001 itself was not widely known for major era releases, but isolated examples have surfaced in the hands of collectors and estate holders. A coin with a striking black pattern on one side while retaining the normal strike on the other could be considered a remarkable find, especially if accompanied by proof of authenticity and originality. The condition of this particular dime further enhances its intrigue. Even with black shading, the coin reportedly remains structurally sound with the inscriptions and design elements intact. This balance of unusual visual appearance and preservation is key when evaluating a coin for rarity and potential value. The most astonishing aspect is the discussion around the coin's market worth. Claims of the coin being valued between $400,000 and $9 million may seem extravagant at first, but these ranges are often fueled by speculative auctions, private collectors with a niche interest, or social media virality that brings mass attention to rare items. In the world of high-value coins, rarity is not just about age. It is about scarcity, condition, provenance, and market demand. If only a few examples of this shaded 2001 dime exist, and if one has already sold in a high-profile transaction, the value could surge based on perceived uniqueness and beer enthusiasm. Additionally, coins that go viral online or receive media coverage often enter the collector spotlight, which dramatically boosts their perceived value. In some cases, the price is driven not only by numismatic interest, but also by cultural buzz. Some collectors seek coins with striking visuals to frame, display, or add to curated sets. A coin with an unusual color pattern, particularly one that appears naturally artistic or sharply contrasted, often becomes a centerpiece item. This dime could fall into such a category depending on how the black shade has formed and how well it integrates into the coin's design. If third-party grading services were to verify it as a mint error or certify its uniqueness, its credibility and value would be amplified. Ultimately, this coin is a symbol of how modern numismatics continues to evolve. The unexpected appeal of a 2001 dime with a backside shade speaks to the endless curiosity collectors have for distinctive examples. Whether it was a result of minting inconsistencies, environmental factors, or pure chance, the coin now lives beyond its face value as a story waiting to be shared. A coin like this encourages people to look closely at their everyday change and reminds them that hidden treasures can still be found in ordinary places. Coins like the 2001 dime with a black shade on the reverse may come from humble beginnings, but with the right combination of rarity, narrative, condition, and collector demand, they can rise to remarkable levels of value and admiration. Whether it ultimately sells for hundreds of thousands or captures the imagination of millions, its place in the spotlight is well-deserved. Next up, we have the 1969 D1 dime coin. May at first appear to be just another small piece of American currency, but upon closer inspection it tells a story that reaches beyond its 10-cent face value. This coin, minted in Denver, is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. While the majority of dimes minted in the late 1960s remain common and are often overlooked, the 1969 D coin stands out for collectors and historians alike, especially when it is believed to carry unique features or a rare history that elevates its significance and value in the numismatic world. Design of the coin remains consistent with the Roosevelt dime series, featuring a left-facing profile of the former president on the obverse, along with inscriptions such as "Liberty in God We Trust," the mint year, and the D mint mark indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse of the coin features the torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by olive and oak branches representing peace and strength. Despite its standard design, this specific 1969 D dime, described as being in bad condition, is drawing attention due to a combination of rarity, unusual appearance, and the speculation around its potential value. Even coins that show significant wear or damage can become highly collectible. They are linked to historical minting errors, misprints, or unexplained anomalies. The term bad condition might typically lower a coin's market value, but in rare instances, it may in fact be the very feature that distinguishes it from the rest. In the case of the 1969D dime, some collectors and coin experts speculate that rare error versions of this coin may exist in very limited quantities. If a dime from this year shows signs of misalignment, double dies off-center strikes, or improper planchette use, it could instantly become an item of great interest and high value. One of the main reasons the 1969D dime might command attention is the growing enthusiasm for error coins and rare pieces from the modern coinage era. The rise of online coin auctions and social media collectors has driven renewed interest in small denomination coins with stories to tell. Whether a coin is tarnished, damaged, or otherwise distressed, what matters most is its uniqueness and the story behind its current state. Coins that emerge from old collections, pocket hoards, estate sales, or metal detector finds can sometimes harbor the rarest treasures in American coinage, even if their surfaces appear flawed. Or again, in recent years, coin collectors have seen seemingly ordinary coins reach astronomical prices due to viral interest, speculative bidding, and the hunt for minting anomalies. Coins once deemed unworthy of second glances have turned into record-setting items simply because of what they represent in terms of rarity, condition, or striking irregularity. While not every coin carries this kind of potential, the 1969D dime described here is speculated to have worth ranging from $400,000 to $9 million depending on its characteristics and provenances. Valuations may sound surprising, but the numismatic market has proven again and again that demand, rarity, and mystique can combine to produce remarkable sales results. The idea of a dime being worth millions creates intrigue and curiosity among collectors and everyday people alike. What if this small coin in poor condition is one of only a few that left the mint with a specific flaw? What if its appearance is linked to a known but elusive error run? What if the coin gains popularity through media exposure and collector interest? These are the questions that drive both valuation and fascination behind the physical coin itself. The 1969D dime also reflects the broader history of American minting. The late 1960s were a period of change for the United States Mint, with the shift away from silver coinage already in full swing and production techniques evolving to meet growing demand. Mistakes and inconsistencies, though rare, were possible, and occasionally those coins slipped through quality control to become prized items decades later. A coin with a dark story or visual damage can evoke the mystery of its journey and how it survived to be discovered in a world where most coins are quickly spent and forgotten. As speculation continues regarding the potential worth of this coin, the idea that it could be valued between $800,000 and $90 million captures the imagination of collectors worldwide. While such high-end prices are typically reserved for coins with verified rarity, confirmed mint errors, or major historical importance, the possibility remains that this particular 1969D dime carries features not yet fully understood or appreciated. For the collector, the thrill lies not just in owning a coin, but in uncovering its secrets. Whether this dime represents an overlooked mint error, a lost production detail, or a modern mystery, its current state invites exploration and excitement. From its tarnished appearance to its speculative high value, this small piece of metal could be the key to a much larger story and a shining example of how even coins in poor condition can achieve greatness when viewed through the lens of rarity, history, and collector passion. The 1969D dime coin reminds us that sometimes it is not the shine of a coin that matters, but the shadow of its story, and in that story may lie a fortune waiting to be discovered.